Imagine stepping into a misty medieval village in the shadow of the Pyrenees Mountains, where whispers of fear echo through the cobblestone streets. What if I told you that right there, hidden in plain sight, lived a group of people shunned as untouchables for no clear reason, treated like ghosts in their own homeland, forced to bow low just to pray, and branded with symbols that marked them as cursed? Today, we're diving deep into the forgotten story of the Cagots, Europe's mysterious outcasts who endured centuries of unimaginable prejudice, blending heart-wrenching facts with tales that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Stick around, because, by the end, you will question everything you thought you knew about medieval society, and maybe even spot echoes of it today. If you're loving these hidden history dives, hit that subscribe button, like, and turn on notifications for more stories that uncover the past's darkest corners. Welcome to the channel where history comes alive. Let's start by painting a picture of who these people were, or at least who the world saw them as. Picture a young carpenter named Etienne, our fictional guide through this tale, waking up in a ramshackle hut on the wrong side of the river. It's the 1400s, and Etienne is a Cagot. He looks just like his neighbors, same dark hair, same calloused hands from hard work, same devotion to the church. But as he steps out, he pins a red cloth shaped like a goose's foot to his cloak. Why? Because without it, he'd be beaten or worse. This wasn't some quirky tradition. It was a badge of shame, screaming to everyone, "Stay away, I'm unclean." The Cagots weren't a race, a religion, or even foreigners. They spoke the local dialects of French or Basque, prayed to the same God, and shared the same bloodlines as those who despised them. Yet, from roughly the 11th century onward, they were Europe's pariahs, scattered across southwestern France, northern Spain, and even up to Brittany. Historians estimate thousands, maybe tens of thousands, lived like this, generation after generation. But here's the hook that grabs you. No one knows exactly why. Was it fear, superstition, or something buried deeper in human nature? To understand the Cagots, we have to rewind to their shadowy beginnings. The first whispers of them appear in records around 1000 AD in the rugged Pyrenees, where France meets Spain. Villages were tight-knit, isolated by mountains and forests, and survival meant sticking to your own. Suddenly, certain families are labeled Cagots, a word that might come from Caco, meaning something foul, or Cani-Gothi, dogs of the Goths. But why them? One theory paints them as remnants of ancient invaders. Imagine hordes of Visigoths sweeping through in the 5th century. Fierce warriors with their own brand of Christianity called Arianism, which clashed with the Catholic norm. When the Visigoths converted en masse around 586, maybe a stubborn pocket refused, becoming outcasts, labeled as heretics. Picture Etienne's ancestors holding secret rituals in hidden caves, their different prayers twisting into rumors of devil worship. Or flip it. Some say the Cagots were early Christians, too pure to devout, making others feel guilty by comparison. But wait, rhetorical question time. If they were heretics, why were they allowed in churches at all, even if segregated? Another wild thread ties them to the Cathars, those 13th century rebels in southern France who rejected Catholic rituals as corrupt. The Albigensian Crusade crushed them brutally with fires and sieges that scarred the land. Survivors, perhaps, went underground, blending in but marked forever. In 1517, A desperate group of Cagots even petitioned Pope Leo X, claiming descent from these Albigenses and begging for forgiveness. The Pope issued a bull saying, "Treat them fairly," but guess what? It changed nothing. Suspense builds here. Were they really heretics, or just scapegoats for a society's fears? Then there's the disease angle. Medieval Europe was plague-riddled, lepers banished to colonies with bells clanging warnings. Cagots got the bell treatment too, forced to announce their approach so pure folk could scatter. Rumors flew. They had webbed feet like ducks, no earlobes. There's even a medical term, Cagot ear, green blood that oozed on Good Friday, or a stench that could wilt crops. Etienne, in our story, might laugh bitterly at this. His feet are normal, his blood red, but try telling that to a mob. Some historians argue they were seen as contagious cretins or goiter sufferers from iodine-poor mountains, their swollen necks twisted into tales of monstrosity. But evidence shows many were healthy, strong builders. Imagine the heartbreak of a mother hiding her child's Cagot traits, whispering, "She, don't let them see." Or here is a twist that adds intrigue. Maybe they were descendants of Moorish soldiers from the 8th century Islamic invasions. After the Battle of Tours in 732 halted the Muslim advance. Stragglers intermarried with locals, their darker skin or exotic features sparking envy and fear. Picture a swarthy warrior left behind, his children growing up with whispers of Saracen blood. This theory resonates with one modern descendant who we'll circle back to later. But my favorite, the guild rivalry idea. In a time when trades were guarded secrets, Cagots might have started as skilled woodworkers, carpenters, coopers, roofers, migrating along pilgrim routes like the Camino de Santiago. Their expertise threatened locals, fossilizing into caste hatred. Etienne fits this. He's a master craftsman, shaping beams for the very churches that humiliate him. Suspense. As we peel these layers, you wonder which theory holds the truth. Or is it all a mirror of our own biases, hating the other for no reason at all? Now, let's dive into the gut-wrenching reality of their daily lives, the meat of our story that keeps you glued. Break it into the raw segregation they faced. First, home life. Cagots were herded into cagotaries, dismal ghettos on the swampy, disease-prone sides of rivers, far from village hearts. Think muddy paths, leaking roofs, families crammed in like animals. Etienne wakes to the clang of his warning rattle, steps out knowing he can't cross the bridge without touching only certain spots, lest he pollute it. Barefoot, forbidden, because their feet supposedly reeked of evil. In town, he hugs the gutters, silent as shadows pass, or risks a flogging. Markets, only on dreaded Mondays, when others bolted doors. Imagine the tension. Etienne barters for bread, hands trembling, while vendors hurl insults. Untouchable, leper spawn. No eating with non-Cagots, no sharing wells, thirst quenched from separate fountains, often tainted. Church was the cruelest irony. These devout Catholics, crossing themselves fervently, had to slink through tiny side doors, some barely 4 feet high, forcing a humiliating stoop. Over 60 such doors still scar Pyrenea churches today. Inside, segregated pews, holy water in their own stoops, lest they contaminate the sacred. Communion. Priests tossed wafers like scraps to dogs, or used long spoons to avoid touch. Etienne kneels, heart pounding, wondering why God allows this. Weddings, rare, outside their kind. Intermarriage meant exile or worse. Love stories turned tragic. Think forbidden romances. Like a Cago girl sneaking meetings with a villager, only to be discovered and shunned. Jobs locked them in. Woodworking, yes, but no farming prime land or holding office. They built grand cathedrals, their hammers echoing pride, yet entered as beggars. Crimes blamed on Cago's first burnings at stakes, hands chopped for wrong touches. In the 1700s, one man had his hand nailed to a church door for using the main font. Another, feet pierced with hot irons. Feel the rage, the quiet despair, as Etienne teaches his son, bow low, boy, or they'll break you. But life wasn't all darkness. Glimmers of resilience shine through. Cagots became legends in their crafts. Roofs that withstood storms, barrels that held wine for kings. Along pilgrim paths, they repaired bridges, earning grudging respect. In our fictional thread, Etienne carves a secret symbol into a beam, a defiant mark of identity. Communities formed bonds in Cagotaries, sharing songs of sorrow and hope. Rhetorical, how did they endure, generation after generation, without revolting? Perhaps faith, or the slim hope of change. As centuries ticked by, Enlightenment ideas seeped in. By the 1700s, some Cagots fought back, petitions, lawsuits. One group in Navarre sued for rights, arguing, we're human too. Suspense peaks, would revolution finally free them? Enter the French Revolution in 1789, a whirlwind of liberty, equality, fraternity. Laws against Cagots abolished. Many stormed archives, torching records to erase their stigma. Etienne's descendants might have cheered. Names changed, blending in. But hold on, prejudice doesn't die with decrees. In rural pockets, hatred lingered into the 1900s. Whispers at weddings, is she Cago blood? Emigration surged to Americas, anywhere far. By the 20th century, they faded, assimilated. Yet, echoes remain. Street names, like Rue des Cagots, those church doors, bricked up, but not forgotten. Wrapping this up, the Cagots saga leaves us with profound mysteries and lessons. Were they truly Moorish remnants, heretic holdouts, or just victims of baseless fear? One theory lingers, perhaps an instinctive aversion to the unplaceable, those who don't fit neat boxes like mixed race groups elsewhere. Thought-provoking, in a world still divided by invisible castes, what Cagots walk among us today? Immigrants, minorities. The story screams that hatred needs no reason. It feeds on itself. But resilience wins. They survived, melted into society, proving humanity's better side. What do you think? Lepers, invaders, or something else? Drop your theories in the comments below. I'd love to chat. If this hooked you, subscribe to the channel for more untold histories. Share with a friend, and let's keep these stories alive. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.